So maybe you're the guy replacing
Yeah, I'll be
Liam.
replacing Liam soon.
Yeah. I could pocket a bit of cash after this. Here's the CEO of Supercars.
That would be hilarious. In the aviators with that white shirt on.
G'day everyone, welcome back to the Drivers Only podcast. I'm joined by Kai Allen and Matt Payne, both from the Penrite Racing team, and obviously your host, Ryan Wood from Walkinshaw United. So how are you boys?
Very well.
Very good. Ready to go.
Yep. Have you guys been up to much since AGP?
Start us off, Matty. What have you been doing?
Yeah, not too much. Just cruising around, doing our thing. What about you?
Yeah, actually, I went to New Zealand Monday after Grand Prix.
That's right.
Learned the track. Never been to Taupo. I don't know how to say it.
Taupo.
Never been there before, so it was good to get some laps in a little 86. So I was over there for a couple of days and then back, and yeah, we haven't really been doing too much. Just prepping for the next round. So
What did you think of the track?
it's good. It's cool actually. It's good to be there too. After seeing it on TV, is a lot different. Different surfaces. As well, there's some very coarse surface and very smooth. So,
What did you think of Turn 11?
which one's that?
The back one.
Oh yeah, no, there's a bit going on there. That'll be serious tyre dig.
Yeah,
in
it's
the
pretty
race.
tough. Yeah,
It's tough, but it's cool. It's a cool track. Probably, it's up there in my top 5 favourites. So
Yeah.
Hasn't raced top
Haven't
5
raced.
favourites.
Yeah,
That's
it's
a big
pretty
call
cool.
for Taupo.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. It's
pretty
just
cool.
it's very technical, which I like. It reminds me of
It's pretty technical, and the cool part about it is like you said with the dig, it makes it like
racing.
it's like a sort of track like Sydney, which makes it quite difficult, especially when you're learning as well.
Yeah,
So
it's quite hard to set the car up for
Yeah.
Taupo because the new service is so new. Like it's
Yeah.
last year, so it's so smooth, and then the old service is extremely old.
Yeah.
So
So does that? What I felt really, those new surfaces give you a lot more front.
yeah, for
so
sure.
it makes the car very different.
Yeah, for sure. It's
in
quite
those
hard
parts.
to chase with the balance, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely a bit of a different beast once you jump in the supercar there. Like I remember in the 86, we were all having fun and driving around on that day last year.
Yeah.
Woody was in the older one.
Yeah.
And then we jumped in the supercar, and it was like everything was happening so much faster because all of a sudden every single corner is so much faster. So
yeah.
What was the event like last year?
it was
looked
really
pretty
good. It was really cool. Like heaps of fans. It was a shame the weather wasn't really that good on Saturday, but
I think it made it good though, like for the racing wise, like Andre to win and stuff like that.
yeah, that was cool.
And then obviously you on Sunday getting a pole.
Yeah,
like it's pretty cool for all the Kiwis, I think.
Yeah, I think it would be weird if it didn't really rain, to be honest. Like that's what most of us expected anyway.
Yeah.
So, and no matter what the weather is, the Kiwi fans are always going to come out and have a look at the racing because it's only happens once a year. So, heaps of ITM jackets getting around and back from what I remember. But
Yeah, TKR jackets.
yeah,
It's,
TKR jackets.
What do you reckon if they try and do a double header? Do you reckon that'll be good? And where do you reckon it'll be held?
Yeah, look, like from what I've heard, Ruapuna is obviously a really likely candidate, but also Highlands is definitely on the list. It's obviously in a great location, being in the South Island, albeit being about 40-45 minutes out of Queenstown, which makes it a little bit more difficult. I think Christchurch is probably a bit more accessible for everything, but obviously, like from my opinion, I think having it having it at Highlands would be awesome for the show because everyone would be staying in Queenstown or Cromwell or whatever. But I think the track there and everything they provide, and especially the scenery, is like nothing there really is on the calendar. So that would be cool, but I'd be stoked to see a doubleheader at anywhere really.
Yeah, I reckon the double header, if it went to Queenstown or to Cromwell and Highlands, I think it'll be more like a holiday for us drivers because, I'm sure a lot of us would stay on or...
you'd stay on.
And I think it would be
weeks.
good for a lot of the fans, and I think you would actually get more people from Australia coming to the Queenstown one than what they would to Taupo. So I think it's a pretty cool option. But yeah, we're pretty lucky to have 2 cool racetracks, or we have so many cool racetracks in the South
there's
Island.
So many. I think there's more in the South Island than the North.
North, yeah.
I think there is.
I think no matter what track we hopefully go to, I think it'll be a good decision.
Yeah.
So, have you raced in New Zealand before? Or?
No, I've never been until I went over the other day. So I've never been to New Zealand.
Thought that was a bit of an insult, really.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Whoops. No, but it was cool. I loved it. It was a beautiful country. Like, even just flying in, flew into Auckland, and only flew to Taupo, and I was in there for a couple of days. But even flying over the lake at Lake Taupo, it was really cool. It was a cool town. Got to walk around a bit, and then just the track. I noticed the quality of the track there was pretty unreal, like compared to sort of a lot of tracks in Australia. Like, you obviously have your good ones, but just a little town in sort of in the middle of nowhere, and have that good of a track there was pretty cool.
It's funny you say that, because like probably 3 or 4, even 5 years ago, it used to not be that great till Tony Quinn and their ownership group took it over and probably revamped the whole joint, and they did the same to Hampton, now Highlands. So it's
all 3 of those tracks are really nice now.
It's pretty cool now, because like we can actually host events there, and I think that's probably the only query with Ruapuna and a few other tracks, because the facilities are probably not up to scratch for our supercars stuff. So it's going to be interesting.
Like Ruapuna would be something you would more probably you'd see more at like, it's sort of almost a Winton kind of like what QR used to be, basically.
Even like what Tony did with QR.
That was cool.
Yeah.
But like it's got open garages, and I've never actually been there, but like the track obviously has potential.
The track would suit our cars. I used to go there quite a bit in 86s, and it's like a proper cool track. It's just like I said, the facilities. The good thing about Ruapuna is that there's long corners, long straights, and some tight stuff. So it would suit our cars.
Yeah, that's good.
Do you reckon it need to be resurfaced, or is it okay?
No, because like we talk about Taupo.
Yeah, we talk about Sydney as well.
Yeah, and
That's
Sydney, but it makes the racing cool because it is hard.
Yeah.
So I think any track that's older makes the racing more intense and harder for the teams and drivers to set up the car. So.
G'day. Have you downloaded the Supercars app yet? Stay up to date with Supercars news and follow the race with live timing. Plus, get exclusive access to ride along with us with the shotgun feature. Download the app today.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in New Zealand?
Oh, pretty stock standard.
Growing up racing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the racing.
Yeah, I mean, like
the karting and all that stuff.
Like in Australia, you have a lot of kart tracks, and you have a lot in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
From what I know, but like New Zealand is the same. Like we have heaps of karting tracks over there. And like from what I remember back when I was starting, like there was the size of the classes, and basically compared to what it was maybe 5 years ago was like probably like 2 or 3 times bigger.
Yeah.
And it was so competitive back then in the day. Or maybe that's just how I remember it, and that's what you sort of perceive it as. But
I think I agree.
Yeah.
I think it seemed like back in the day, I don't know, but me and Matt, we used to do a lot of it just with our dads. And now it's turned into quite a, you need to be with a team, and you need to have new engines, new go-karts all the time.
You need that
very
support.
Similar, very similar to what's happened in Australia.
So I think it's changed a lot, but like growing up there, I think especially for me, karting was like, I guess, pretty cool, because, you get all your friends and you meet them from such a young age, and it's probably a little bit different to Australia because it's so small compared to over here. So your mates can be halfway across the country, but it's only like 6 hours away.
Exactly. The community is so small over there. Well, it's not small, but everyone knows each other. So when you turn up to the track, there's no who's this guy? You've raced him before. So that was cool. And basically all the friends I have now, like with Ryan and that, we're all through karting, especially like a lot earlier on through cadets and junior restricted when that was a thing. But like we both came over and raced in Australia pretty early on in our careers, and it was a lot different.
I remember racing you a couple of times.
I think I raced, racing in Cadet 12, and you were the benchmark.
Oh, you were in a Tony car.
Little Oz one.
He's Oz one then.
So, no, that was cool. Yeah, I remember that. But now it's good to see that, you guys have come from that. And it's not a little country, a little country, but it is, and also the likes of Liam Lawson. I think you grew up, you race karting with him.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
Growing up with Liam was pretty cool.
Yep.
Like he obviously just lived down the road from where I grew up. So and we went to the same school together as well. So that was pretty cool. We basically hung out like every day. It was weird for us not to hang out every day, but obviously he's, we grow up racing karts together, and he was very highly talented. And I basically started karting because my dad was like, oh, why don't we just get into it, and bought a kart for my 5th birthday or something. And then because Liam we were going to school together, he sort of found out, oh, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I just started karting. And so he came down and watched at Mount Wellington, which is no longer exists at the track, but came down and watched, and he's like, oh man, Dad, I need to get into this. Like, too jealous of Matt. So
there you go.
Him and Jared, they
Pretty
both got a card, and we were like, we raced for the same team. Like, well, not really team, but we just raced together from cadets, and then obviously he's going on to do what he's doing now, which is pretty surreal for us. Like as to know him from so young, and he's
that'd be pretty cool.
He's growing up to race in F1, which is very special. It's very cool to watch.
What do you think's going on there at the moment? Like, obviously, what he did when he had to jump in a few times, he probably punched well above his weight, and I guess the expectations were probably pretty high this year, and obviously it hasn't started that well, and there's a lot of rumours swirling around and stuff like that. But what do you think? Like, I personally think he's getting quite a bit of hate for not really.
I agree.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like, I'm really quite annoyed that a lot of people are getting into him about it, and basically saying, some horrible stuff about him, and that he's no good and things like that. But I just find that he's proved himself countless times, like you said, jumping into the car after Daniel broke his thumb, and basically just getting in there and doing the job, and there was no real hint that he wasn't good enough at that time.
Yep.
Even getting in after he replaced Daniel eventually, and out qualifying Yuki, and the results are there, but it's just, I find like this year's was always going to be tough because he's up against Max, who everyone knows for the last 5-6 years has been the benchmark in that car. And the old story goes, the second driver really struggles to adapt to it, and it sort of, as it looks, it's almost made around him, made around Max to suit his driving style, which, as we know, it's super hard to copy someone else, when it's not your natural style. So I think, he's just finding it really difficult at the moment to get the lap time out of it. It would be a real shame if he was going to get dropped in, after 2 rounds. I think that's really, really hard cut. But, it's just, I really enjoy seeing him in there doing it.
I think what's interesting is back when Max was winning every race and stuff, Checo was finishing, 5th and stuff like that, or get a podium. But the difference is now it's not like Max is just winning and Liam's, nowhere. Like, yes, he's outside the points, but Max is finishing 5th and race 1 of the year. Yeah, he finished 2nd, but there's a lot of things that aren't also going Red Bull's way at the moment. So I think I don't think just chucking another driver in is going to fix all your problems. Like, if it was that easy, everyone would do it, and they've done it countless times, and look what's happened. So
I think putting Tsunoda in would definitely not improve the situation. If anything, it takes away a great opportunity for Liam to show what he's got in the next few races.
Yeah, and I think going back to when we used to race against him, you can probably comment more than I can, but if there's anyone that's mentally strong enough to go against Max, it's Liam. So.
Yeah, he's on another level with that stuff. Like his
he's
grit,
always been so focused.
His grit and his will to win is beyond anyone I've seen, and I think he can put up with the pressure. Like, it is so much.
I think at the moment, if he can get through what he's going through right now, he'll be set. Like, if he can bounce back at the next round and just go there and get points or whatever, he'll be sweet. So I think it's pretty interesting. But what if we had a situation like that in supercars? Obviously, let's say, there was a guy struggling in supercars. Do you think they should be replaced by a guy and then they go back to Super 2 or something like that? And I don't know. I think it's a totally different situation.
Yeah,
but
it's a little bit. I think, honestly, with our system, it's probably a little bit different.
I think with a team like mine, it would suit.
You've got a bit of a program.
Yeah.
Like for a team like us, I don't think it would make sense just because we don't have a development
exactly
or a Super
right.
2 team per se. Like
we have getting someone random to come into the team. They wouldn't know the processes. We're over there. Obviously, they're in, the Red Bull guys. They're in the same workshop. And I was fortunate enough to go over and actually see it. But it's cool to have. They've got all the simulators there in the same place. All the guys work
Didn't you
together.
go do some stuff?
I went over to Milton Keynes and got to drive on the F1 sim, and it was cool to see.
Red Bull or
Red Bull, yeah. So they had the back then it was AlphaTauri sim upstairs, and they had one of the guys, I think Liam was there a couple of days before, and he was testing some stuff for the next round, and it was cool.
How did that all come about? Was that like...
So I just through one of my good friends, I went over and did some coaching with a guy called Rob Wilson, who does a lot of coaching with the F1 guys over there. He's quite an old guy now.
I actually went and saw him last year as well.
Did you? Yeah, nice.
Yeah, started last year.
He's a good dude. He's a very funny character.
Smoking
big Rob.
Like a
rocking up with the briefcase full of cigarettes. But it's pretty cool.
And a hire car.
Yeah. That's it. It's got a mirror hanging off it. And all that stuff. It's cool. And then just from that, did a couple of days with him, and then through one of his good friends, a guy called Boyo has an F3 team over there. He used to have a team with Kimi Räikkönen. It's called Double R Racing. Just did a test to see where I'm at. Never driven an open wheeler car, and then from that, just got a they obviously Rob knows Christian really well, Christian Horner, and just teed up a sim session for me just to learn and try and.
So maybe you're the guy replacing Liam.
Yeah, I'll be replacing Liam soon.
Yeah, I reckon that's a solid call up there.
Yeah,
I'll be right. I'll get it done.
For young
You've heard it here first. So
that's it.
See it all over the
it's
Facebook.
Leaked. If you're on Speed Cafe tomorrow.
Yeah.
No, but it was cool, and then just to see what that world's like. Obviously,
it's
a completely different ball game. Even for one of us to go over there, it's insane. It's like that's why it's a credit to Liam to do what he's done.
I almost
it's pretty vicious over there.
I tell him all the time, I'm like, man, I don't understand how you moved out of home when he was so young to go and do.
Different
he obviously
country.
started German F3, F4,
and I think people don't understand how much they've sacrificed. Like the Drive to Survive fans don't know what he's been through, and probably like a lot of us have.
We wouldn't even. And they wouldn't even know.
He was
how much they've put on the line to make sure he gets there, and then.
And then you get there, and then you get absolutely
and then you just
smashed,
get murdered for it.
So
I think it's sort of shows getting there isn't the easy part, obviously, but there's a lot more to it once you're there, and I think
staying there
probably
is
noticing
difficult.
that the last couple of years, especially last year. So.
100%. It's all the grind to get there, and then once you get there, it's
hard work.
So the hard work starts. It's a different kind of pressure. Normally it's not a financial pressure. It's more a performance, but still, you're still under the same pressure and. It's pretty brutal, but there'll be another ball game over there. So
should we jump into the mailbag?
Yeah, let's have a go.
Take your hat off, Matty. Chuck him in that hat.
You're up first, Kai. You can pick the first.
Oh no, here we go. Righto. Annie. All right. Which two drivers would you want to be stuck on a desert island with? So stranded, pretty much.
I think I've already answered this question before.
Yeah, I've done one of these before as well.
Yeah,
but I didn't really like my answer. So
I reckon I said
two drivers are now.
So two drivers in supercars. Basically, who would you like to be stranded with on a?
I reckon
I said Cam Waters because we'd have unlimited Monster, so that's hydration. And then
buddy, you on it?
Man, I don't know.
Mine would be Chaz because Optus.
Oh yeah,
so
you might have coverage.
You'll have
mobile coverage.
Yep. And then also it would either be Cam or probably Will Brown because again, unlimited hydration between one of them.
Red Bull.
Yeah,
or
Red
Monster.
Bull.
If you
or
kept drinking
Monster.
Red Bull, you probably wouldn't be in a very nice shape, would you?
Or either Monster, really.
Or either Monster. You can get sugar-free stuff.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
I think either of those.
So you're
two.
Chaz, Will,
Will or Cam. I'd probably say Cam because he drives for Ford, so we'll do it a Ford affair.
Do Ford affair.
Yeah.
So you're Cam and
I reckon I'm Cam. I reckon I got to go Cam and Chaz. It's like
copycat.
nah,
Yeah,
but it's
just-
like it's the most sense, man.
Yeah, but
I need
it
mobile
only made
coverage.
sense because I mentioned it.
I'm
Yeah, but it
I'm
makes
with Boost
sense now.
Mobile. So
Oh yeah, true.
yeah, geez, mate, you just absolutely shafted
Actually,
me.
that's true. Yeah. Whoops.
yeah.
Richie's got boosted.
That's
man.
right. Yeah, so you've just
Yeah.
wiped us off the
Yeah.
plate
Oh,
here.
no.
Gee,
Alright,
I'm
me
taking
in
that
my
to
own
offense.
Me and
teammate, and
Richie.
you've just you don't even go your own
I know,
teammate.
you've just absolutely. Oh, that's
That
I'm
shows
writing
how
that one
much
down.
he misses Richie.
Richie was good.
Should we do another one?
Alright, let's do another one.
Yeah,
Alright.
let's do a
Let's
couple.
Let's just go.
Alright, I'll pick one out.
Why? Where's your hat gone?
Yeah, you just.
It's on my head. That's where it's meant to be.
All right,
All right.
hit us, Matt.
Lachlan, who do you think will win the championship this year?
That's a good one. I think with the new format as well, I think it's going to be a lot more sort of upset. if you know what I mean.
Unknown.
Unknown. That's the
I
word I
think
was looking for.
actually making the top four is going to be the most
They are
unknown
making
part.
it-
That's
making
going to
the
be.
top four is
Yep,
tough.
I agree. I think
You
Look,
saw it at AGP, like
anything
it's
can
pretty
sort of
up and
happen.
down.
Yeah, like look at
Yeah.
Will and Chaz on the Sunday race. You know, if
Yeah.
it went ahead, they would have been nearly dead
Well
last,
back.
21st, 21st. That throws a spanner in the works.
Yeah.
But yeah, to be honest, I don't really know. I hope we're in the fight somewhere, as we all probably think. But
Yeah, I think you have to sort of the 888 boys are still I think the benchmark as
Oh,
much
for
as
sure,
they
yeah.
they
100%.
struggled at round or they didn't even struggle.
they didn't. No, they
they
didn't.
It's just Cam
They
Waters.
just
yeah,
slow
and
burned
Swift,
over
yeah.
the weekend and came on like
yeah,
Sunday.
like
Yeah.
if Brock didn't, that battle happened and Brock basically won race 2.
yeah.
Yep.
But
you're right.
you know, lost it on the line.
Get up,
It's
Cam.
weird. So I
Down
think you've
before.
got to put the 888 boys, Tickford, hopefully.
Tickford looks stronger this year. Like just,
Yeah.
But then at AGP,
but then at
that-
AGP they went down.
Just
Like
their quality performance.
yeah, I
was-
don't know.
was
Like, but
strange.
that was what they were so strong at Sydney at quality performance.
Yeah,
so
it's
good.
so random.
I still think this new tyres really changed a
Yeah.
lot.
I agree.
for
Yeah, it's a
Um,
good thing.
So I think you can't put it past the normal guys to win the championship. But I
No.
think like yourself, hopefully us guys can be there or thereabouts. I think
yeah.
for me, definitely trying to get in that top 10 and make the finals is a good target and
100%.
go from there. So
Yeah, I think that'll.
Right, Ryan, I'm going to get you to pick one out because
Alright.
we've done one each. So there you go.
you said you were
picked it
going to
out
get me to
for
pick one out. You picked
no,
it
I
out.
just picked it out for you. There you go.
Is this what he's
easier.
like? He's
Yeah,
like,
mate. Yeah, just
controlling.
control
from
freak.
Nicole. Who's your pick to be the GM homologation team?
Oh, that's a good
That's
question.
a very good
actually.
question, Nicole.
I think Penrite Racing.
Definitely.
Throw a
Penrite
spanner.
Racing?
Yeah, I throw a spanner in the
That's a
works.
good
That
guess.
Ford on the hat, mate.
It's a good guess.
Yeah, but who knows?
Um,
There's a lot that's changed recently. Who thought that?
Yeah,
Triple
who
Eight were
thought
gonna go to
Chevrolet were
Ford?
going to go to
very
Ford?
good point. That is a very good point.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the way
No,
you're
I
thinking.
reckon-
I think you're well off.
I think it's going to be.
Heard it here first.
I think it's
Simon Chapman, write up that story, boy.
No, I think it's going to be. I think Premiere is the most likely candidate.
That's
what
what
I've
they
heard.
all say when they're trying to palm it off.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
just. Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah, well,
answering it.
Well, Zibris he's stepped away from racing, so
Oh,
that
has
could
he?
be that
Yeah.
could be a bit of a clue that he's getting a bit more hands on.
And then obviously with RD hanging around it.
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
I think
shows-
it's going to be
Yeah.
it's going to be Premier.
It-
I think.
It makes sense, but I also think that Penrite Racing could be. You
Yeah,
guys
We
are,
could be
yeah.
dark horses.
Yeah.
You don't know.
It could
you
be
know,
just
like
under the
who
radar.
thought that?
Who would have thought?
Yeah, Triple Eight.
It
We're
could
going to go
be
to
two-
Ford.
Yeah.
Two
Toyota
big
or-
news flashes of
Yeah.
the year.
And I've called it.
You've
I
called
could, I could pocket a bit of cash after this.
So yeah,
Let's do a couple more.
do another one.
All right,
let's
let's
go.
do another.
Let's keep going.
I'll
We'll get
put
it.
it
These
on
are
my
good. I like these.
Do me do this? Oh yeah, put it in the hat.
Yeah.
I'll get this one.
Let's do like 3 more.
Oh, yeah. He's got one on his shoulder. Oh, we've got a. There you go.
One more each we'll do.
Right, I'll grab one. Yeah, I got one. You grab one. And I'll start us off, but the Matty grab one. All right. From Amanda. Matt and Woody, what rookie advice do you have for Kai? That is a good one. I'd like to hear some. I obviously get a fair bit of rookie advice from Matt, but Woody, you don't really
Yeah.
give me any
Nah.
any advice.
Yeah,
He
let's
bit me
hear
at
it.
Sydney.
Just we're dooring each other on the last
Dormy
lap. That was
thought he
good
was the
fun.
man because he
Out.
had 10 lap fresher tyres. In the wet. Nah, I don't know. I think I've learnt a lot over the last year and a bit, and especially you can probably tell it's a lot harder than you expect.
100%.
Like,
Yeah, I think we talked about this
yeah,
a while ago. Like, I think, I talked to you last year. It's that Super 2 is very competitive and a very good class, but it's just
but when you're
another
having a
step.
bad day in Super 2, you're third.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
you've
100% right.
still got a
100%
chance
right.
of good points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're having a bad day in main game and you're actually last.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like-
you are last.
Yep.
And
100%.
there's people up and down the field that get thrown hate that they shouldn't be in main game, but I genuinely believe anyone that's in main game, no matter who they are, deserve to be there because they do such a good job. And it just, I think it's a lot harder than what people expect. I think my biggest advice is, and I still get down on it, is when you have a bad day, it's just, don't overthink it because
it's a very good.
and
very good
I
one.
do it all the time because it is hard, Matt? Like,
yeah, it's
you've
super
been
hard.
there.
Oh, I've had some shockers.
And then you'll turn up at the next round and qualify
and all of
second,
a
and you'll be
sudden,
like, I
yeah.
didn't do anything different.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Even we had a bit of that AGP, I think. For me, that first race, a few things went wrong, and I was in the fence, and the car was nearly on fire. I had, got boxed
you
around
had
a bit.
basically everything going on in a race
in
you
one
didn't
race.
want.
You had me
You
like
didn't want.
AGP round. That was like what I went through.
Yeah,
And then my
yeah.
first round was, shocking. I think you've done a good job.
Yeah,
like,
thank you.
Yeah.
I
car's
think
been
it's-
straight most of the time,
Yep.
which is a good start.
Like,
Yeah,
that's
it was on fire in
it's
AGP.
something-
when I go there.
That's not your fault.
No, but I think
Yeah,
I
it's just
think
that.
rookies can really go either way. Like, we've seen it how you can have rookies come in and they, just charge into the first corner. They're freaking.
Why are you? This sounds like this is aimed at me.
I'm not. I didn't aim it at you. I didn't say your name. But we've seen it before. Like people, they feel like they need to prove themselves.
Yeah.
I guess really
Yeah, that's a good
quickly.
point. Yeah,
Where you just take your time and you get used to the racing around you because it is a lot different.
it is.
Like especially in the longer races, people are more strategic about how things go, and
It's the same question.
so
that's a good one. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah. No, I think
Alright, next
that's
question.
good advice. Let's
I'll
move on.
go. From Luke, what is the end goal in your careers? Is there something post Supercars you want to do, or is success here the ultimate goal?
That's a good point. I think at this stage for me, it's just supercars. Something I've always dreamed to be. Now I'm here. I'd like to just have a long career, but the door's always open to try and do other stuff. Look at SVG. Look at McLaughlin. They've gone to America. So yeah, look at this stage. I'm not going to make a call. I'd just like to stick with what I'm doing
I
at the
think
moment.
that's a
It's
good idea. You're only a couple months.
I know.
in, so-
I've done 2 races, and I'm already
Yeah.
thinking about my extra strategy. No. I think just keep chipping away, see what I can do here, and then sort of reassess once I get a bit later.
Yeah,
in my career.
I think to be honest, I'm probably in the same boat.
Yeah.
Like I just like to focus on what's happening here. Like you said with the other guys going to the States, it's definitely opened up our sport
Yes,
to
that's what I
to
was-
I
other
think
countries.
Racing Champions did as well.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was so good.
Yeah, that
what a
was
lot
so
of the
cool.
boys in Supercars did,
Yeah.
and then I think
I think
for
that
me,
was
I
great.
was cheering for Chaz because
Oh,
more people
yeah.
he bet it pumped up my stocks a bit as well. So I was like, see, I'm not that
go, boy.
bad.
No, he did really well.
yeah,
I
he's
was
unreal.
thoroughly chuffed seeing him up there.
Yeah.
What about you, Woody?
I think, obviously Supercars has always been my goal. But I do want to do more racing. Like I want to
Yeah,
do a
that's
bit
a
of
good
GT. If there's some sort of NASCAR sort of options
Yep.
to open up, that
Yes,
would be
for
great.
sure.
Or, I think we're racing drivers. Like
That's
if
what
there's
we need to
an
do.
opportunity
Yeah. Yep.
arises, I think we'd all take it.
Yeah,
so,
for sure. We always want to do more.
Yeah,
racing,
Yeah,
I think
so-
that's where our sport's a bit different. Footballers or
They have to
netballers or anything.
stick to
Yeah, but they can go and kick a footy every day, go train every day on what they're actually doing. Where for
Yeah.
us, it's hard. We only get to race, 13 rounds a year. So to be able to drive different things probably will help
Definitely
our craft
helps,
as well.
yeah.
So I think that's something that you look at. Brock and Will have been doing in that off season. Just driving something. It's
totally
Cam
different,
even
yeah.
in sprint cars. I know it's dirt. No, it's different, but he's still learning a lot. And
You're
you
still
always,
holding the steering wheel.
yeah, you're still racing to that competitiveness, and you're always
Would you-
trying to do the best you can.
Would you boys ever be open to like owning your own team or like doing
Yeah,
TV
I
and
think-
stuff like
Oh,
that?
I'd give TV a crack. I really
Yeah.
enjoy
Yeah, I think you'd be-
commentating.
you'd
yeah,
not
you
bad
talk
at
a
it.
lot.
I reckon you. So do you.
No, I'm
You
kidding.
talk too much.
Talk to
I reckon you'd be a good commentator.
Yeah, it'd be.
I reckon it would be pretty
awesome.
funny.
I reckon if it all went, done tomorrow.
Pear-shaped.
Pear-shaped. I was going to say something else. If I was watching, can't. I'd love to do commentating. I think.
Yeah, that's. I love
think
commentating.
our mate Ronan's taken.
Yeah,
he was always going to be
that's
a
the
commentator.
perfect job for him. He knows so
He's
much
like a
about
mini
every
Chad
car.
Nalon.
He is, he is
Mini
like a
Chad.
mini dictionary, walking dictionary.
He
for
genuinely
cars.
is about
Genuinely
everything.
is, so
He'll tell you when like a headlight for a Subaru WRX has been made, like it's crazy, and the whole like part number on it, and you're like,
he knows
He just
everything.
knows it.
Oh.
No, there you go.
That is him to a T.
I think that's, by the way, if you don't know who that is, that's Runa Murphy, Greg Murphy's son. But I think I'd be open to doing commentary, and I'd love to own my own team.
I was about to
If it
say,
was
yeah.
going to be like,
Yep.
my goal in the next 5 years is to have some involvement in like a junior category,
Yep.
to help bring some kids over here
yep.
from New Zealand, and
Yeah,
That's a very
I
good
think
one.
that would be cool.
All right, let's go. Next
go to the next
question. Lakey, what other NZ tracks would you like to see on the calendar?
I think for me, we touched on it before, but I think it has to be Highlands. I just think, imagine the TV shots of us going over the bridge
and just
until the
fought-
upright falls out of it, and then we're in the fence and the pond. But no, I think it would be, pretty cool for our cars, cool for our teams. I think it would just be cool for our sport, to be honest.
Yeah, I reckon Hampton would be cool as well.
Hampton
would
is
be
actually
cool.
my favourite track.
Yeah,
in New
that
Zealand,
is
the
that is-
international one.
The international one's really good. I would love to see the Hamilton Street Circuit back.
Yeah.
I reckon that's got to be up there for me.
Yeah, watching the old footage of those old cars, that was pretty
Yeah, like for
Yeah.
sure. But I really hope like they can get the second or the double header weekend across the line to lock that in, because that's definitely something that our sport will benefit from
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Having just the boys weekend away, boys week away.
Yeah.
That's the perfect opportunity for that. And
I think the fans are, from what I've seen, obviously never been there, but the fans
Yeah,
look
the
like
fans,
a different
the-
style.
they are.
You'll
Yeah.
with Matt being your team,
Yeah.
it'll open your eyes to
That's what
how lucky we are
People
to
of
actually
trades.
go back and race in New Zealand
That's
for
what
us
I'm
Kiwis.
looking forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
I think
cool.
it's just even seeing, even though it was bucking down rain at Taupo.
flat out.
I
They're
remember
all on
going
the
down
hill.
the back
Packed.
straight and just seeing everyone
Yeah.
Just got their ponchos
trying to
out.
chase down
Just,
deep
just
smiling. I think we'll rewind the clock back
Yes,
to
good idea.
AGP. So obviously the last race was cancelled. What do you boys think? And what did you think of the whole weekend? Obviously, Matt and I have been there last year. But I think for us going back to the AGP and having the pits, having the fans around our pit area was awesome. I think
that was definitely a plus.
amazing. And, being able to do our signing sessions, it was like back to like a normal race weekend for us to a certain degree.
Like I was a little bit disappointed on Sunday just because, like, I get it. When we were under the safety car, about to
bad.
pit with the red flag, that was really sketchy. Like that was really marginal to go racing because it was super wet, especially around the back. But for me, like they couldn't have known. But as soon as we came into the pits, it stopped raining, and basically they called the race off. And when we had to go back around and drive to get into the
was
pits,
fine.
the track
so
was
good,
basically like perfect for us to go out. Like that wouldn't be
I think-
marginal at all. So it was hard for them to know because
Yeah.
like you could have easily said, let's just do a couple more laps, and then the rain would have stopped, and then we would have been pushing the water out of the way, and then probably would have been okay. But I think I think that's a big hindsight thing, and
I think all the teams would have been happy because if we weren't going to New Zealand, I think it would have been the right call. But I honestly think they've made the right decision because, let's be real, we all would have fired down to turn one,
Yeah,
come
all
out
had
of
a
two,
crack.
hit the
Yeah,
AstroTurf,
upside down on
and all
fire.
mates in the fence.
Yeah.
You know, like,
literally 10
It had respect.
it's and Lawson. I think I think it was the right call, but I think the only reason I say that is because the teams and stuff like that. They had to have the cars ready for, I think it was Tuesday to be
they
in
were
the
put
container.
under the pump. They put under the pump hugely. So
which
like
is different to previous years. Obviously, we've flown our cars and stuff to New Zealand, which would have been a different story. They wouldn't have had to do everything.
Yep.
The turnaround wouldn't have been so fast. So I think it was the right call, but I think all in all, the racing at AGP, like the door-to-door banging was pretty cool.
I honestly, I
got
liked
caught
it.
out.
What you were front and center there. I want to hear your take, because obviously there was a couple of races there where you were just firing it in. Good passes, mind you. Like I watched it back, really
good. In that
good
first
passing.
Race,
I thought the 3 wide on Chaz was pretty tough. Obviously, very opportunistic. I actually did the same thing in race 3.
We were like Ricky Bobby and Cow.
Literally the same thing. I went up the inside and he crossed. Yeah. So anyway, that one in race 2, that was tough. Turn 5 is
what
a
do you
tricky
boys
corner. Think? Kai, your thoughts?
Honestly, I think it's so hard to judge there because the corner, obviously.
Make sure you say the right thing.
Yeah. No, I honestly, I would have called it. Well, there's a car on the fence destroyed, so you got to give someone.
Do you want to get
right?
lunch after or not?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. That's.
I think
it's so hard to tell because if that was a different corner,
it was
would have been a racing incident. Yeah,
but
I
can't.
agree.
I personally, looking back at it, you can't judge an incident
100%
on the outcome.
No,
on
you
the
can't.
Corner.
If
he came out of the corner, spun, car wasn't wrecked, I think it would have been a different story.
Yeah, you would have been. Yeah,
but all in all, I think Beto makes the right call 95% of the time, if not 99% of the time. I think it's just, for me, was the way it was. It was a drive-through in the race, not post-race investigation. We didn't even get a chance to talk about it, and see different angles. AGP's hard because they can only take what they see on the cameras on the television.
Extra,
there's no extra like
stuff.
the rest of our rounds. So
I think
that was more the fact that I was disappointed. And I think a few others were.
Yeah, I agree. But I think there was other racing incidents worse.
Yeah,
that didn't
100%.
Get penalties. Like
100%.
There's I'm not going to say names, but when I caught on fire, that was pretty marginal. Why that happened? I got doored very hard at the second last corner and. I don't know what. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
but
name names, Kai.
But I think
come on, who was it?
For that, put the pressure on you.
Yeah.
I think to be honest, that there was not saying that one, but there was other ones there that you like. That was,
there was one.
That was very marginal.
I think all in all,
and they didn't get penalties. That's where it was a bit harsh. I thought they're going to throw you a massive
the
penalty.
I think the one that showed it the worst was Chaz ended up taking out James Golding.
Yeah.
Locked a brake, clear as day what happened, post-race investigation.
Yeah.
And then they sorted it out.
And then I get it's just that.
I think for yours was every single vulnerable that you wouldn't want happened.
Variable,
like variable. And with the corner, it was tough because that corner is really tricky. As well as the positioning.
Go-kart's
the outcome.
Grip up into lap 5. I had to go.
Yeah, but even I went around.
Got tight.
I'm tight.
I had a similar pass there in one of the races. I can't remember who was up the inside, but
if they saw the way you raced me at Sydney on the last lap, you would have got a penalty.
I would have been excluded from the championship.
I can feel tension between you two.
Says the one that chose Richie to go on a deserted island.
Yeah, because
he's mobile, boost mobile as well.
On the side of my helmet, mate.
You actually got involved in the door-to-door banging too.
It's on my phone too.
Yeah, I did actually. I got spun in race 3, which was a bit unfortunate.
That's a pretty opportunistic open.
Yeah, I mean, I got a bad start and I was on the back foot a little bit, and I was probably should have just stuck to my guns on the inside, but I think that was just one of those ones where I just was on the wrong end of the stick and just got served.
Yeah.
So
you boys thinking about the finals yet, or do you just keep driving as hard as you can?
I just keep racing as hard as I can.
I think for me,
just
if I'm going to be
going as fast as I can.
Be real, it's like I think the teammate situation's different now because, for me and Chaz, I think Chazzy's always going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, a little bit of a rear gunner situation going on.
No, but
here.
I just at Grand Prix it was like, I know he's top, going to be top 10. I can have a go and race him hard.
That's a good point.
And I think that makes the racing probably more exciting from a team-to-team thing. Red Bull are still playing their weird team order stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, Dado, let them race, mate. Come on.
It's round 2.
That's what the fans want to see.
That's right.
I want to see door-to-door Taupo banging Red Bull style. last year
that
what
was
happened.
good.
Like, that was
but
good.
it wasn't even door to door.
No, but it was better than like anything that happened on the 3 races last weekend. Like
That's what I think.
it's a bit like
Since you boys have half a Triple Eight ex-employees, do you guys get team orders or
nah.
no?
No, we just race.
But I think we respect each other.
But we were
a fair
actually
bit
really
as well
coordinated
with our
on
racing.
the weekend. Like, it was weird. Like, we were doing moves, and then you'd benefit from it somehow. I would too. And then it was
that
just
was the
all
same as
working
me
out.
and Chaz.
It was just working out.
I remember, we come on to
Just shows that path.
Yeah, there's a few good ones there. I think it's just, and that's where you need to know as a team where your drivers are at. And that's where if we were being a bit idiots, then the team would come and go, hey,
For sure,
just relax. But they know that we're.
I think that's the right thing to do. Though.
we should understand what we're.
I think
what we're doing.
Yeah, team orders are a waste of time.
Unless it's like at the end of the championship and
Yeah,
there's a clear.
obviously you know
there's a
what your
clear-
role
at
is.
the end of the year,
but
you
not
know,
round
it's
If
going to
Matty's
change.
leading Adelaide and you're
I know,
second, you're going to back the field up and
Yeah.
try as much as you can to
100%.
win it. Like, that's
Yeah,
just
thanks,
how it
bro.
happens, you
Yeah.
know? What do you boys think about the Would you rather be a CEO or a DSO?
Nah, DSO for sure for me. I just enjoy watching.
Yeah, I think
Watching
I
the
could.
racing, and I
Supercars,
think-
obviously.
Yeah,
I
so if I
think-
was a DSO, I wouldn't have gave you a penalty for that one. There.
Yeah.
There you go, see?
I'll
Oh,
shout
good
you
lad.
lunch.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, you better
Yeah.
shout me lunch now.
I think,
I think I could be a good DSO.
I don't reckon I'd be a DSO. I'd hate to do Beardo's job.
It's
Yeah.
tough.
I'd hate
It
to be
would be
Beardo's
tough.
job.
That is
because
actually a good
Beardo is a racer. He is, you know,
Yeah, that's a
we've
good
all seen
point.
what
That's
he
a
did
good
in a
point.
race car. He's, you know, really good.
Yep.
I was going to say something else. I'd rather be a CEO because, I don't know,
I
you get
couldn't
to wear a
handle-
business
I
shirt,
couldn't
you
handle the
get to run
business.
aviators around the race weekend, you look important, you get to go on the grid no matter what, so you always look
Yeah, you run
important.
the show, mate.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. That's a good point. That is a very good point.
I think I'd be CEO, to be honest. Imagine me as the CEO
Oh.
of Supercars.
That would be hilarious. In the aviators with that white shirt on.
Tucked in.
That Tom
DJ
Cruise
style.
tuck.
Style.
With a tuck.
Oh, the tuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look. I reckon you do a good CEO.
Yeah, I think it would be
You'd make
cool.
some good decisions.
Yeah, I reckon I'd be
I think.
finals, bring back 3. Oh, okay, I'll
Yeah,
put
here
it
you
out
go.
there.
Bring
If
back
I was
hard
CEO,
racing.
If I was CEO, bring back the biff.
The biff.
It would be
The biff.
3 rounds of enduros. I
Yeah,
would
for
Would you
sure.
bring
say
back
the
the grid girls?
I wasn't going to say anything. That was you. I would not bring them back.
Oh, okay.
No, I
Um,
wouldn't either.
No,
That's,
we
No.
both have girlfriends.
Oh,
so
sorry.
We're respectable.
political answer.
no, but still, it's for the fans.
Yeah, exactly.
not about you
And
guys.
the
We'll see them on
guy.
car 26. Just,
Yeah.
That's what you
just the
Well,
singular.
you
blocking.
guys have like grid.
Oh, we have like the people that hold the flags.
Yeah.
And that's
They're
different
normally
every
just,
round.
Yeah,
but-
just couple blokes.
Yeah. No, I think I'd be CEO.
three enduro rounds.
Bring back 3 enduro rounds.
That's a good
2
point.
races in New Zealand. Go to Singapore and race over there, and a couple more international races.
America.
America would be cool. And then also doing stuff where we would change, like we would go to the States race in NASCAR.
That's a good point.
NASCAR driver would come
Yeah.
drive here.
Yep.
And I would make sure that there was a car for the reigning Dunlop Series champion to move into main game.
That is
Yeah,
a,
that's a good
very.
I
yeah,
think,
was about to say,
like
that's probably something I would
yourself, you
change.
had to wait a year.
Yeah,
I
to go
was
back.
super lucky with the timing, everything happened.
yeah.
But there's like Batesy this year.
Yeah,
He's having to wait. I think I'd
Yeah.
bring in that. Obviously, it's a lot of money, but I think there
Nah,
would be
that's the point. Yeah,
you know,
gotta-
enough
Oh, you know, I
publicity.
don't know
Our
about-
championship's really healthy, so I think
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
enough opportunities to, you know.
I don't know about you guys, but like I saw a couple of articles last year that had Kyle Busch was going to run Adelaide, and I was so excited.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
100%.
so excited for
Yeah.
that because I'm like, this is going to be so awesome for
Yeah.
us as a sport, but fortunately it didn't happen.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you boys
Kyle
were
Lawson was
CEO,
kinda
what
like-
would you do?
I'd
Obviously,
do-
you
I'd-
wanted to be DSO, but
Well, I'd do a lot of the same. 3 enduro rounds for me is a no brainer. Like that back in the day. I'd also bring back international co-drivers.
Yep.
I think that would be cool.
Co-driver race. I reckon co-driver race at
co-driver
Sandown.
race, absolutely.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I think you'd
co-driver
have to
race.
do one at like
Yeah.
Taylor and Bend. Obviously,
Yeah.
Sandown's now back to a sprint round for
Yep.
us.
Yep.
So
Taylor and Ben co-driver race would be pretty cool.
yeah,
That'd be really
imagine
good.
that.
Nice open for them.
Yeah.
You know.
And the cars probably won't get smashed
Nah.
up.
That's a
Like,
good point. Yeah, I think we're at
Unless
Sandow's
they're
probably
hitting
really
each other.
I'm excited for the bend.
Yeah,
to the
same.
enduro.
I
Awesome
It's a
really
good
am.
track.
enduro track.
I
Yeah.
missed it last year. I really did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Son,
it's a
it
good
was
one.
it was a bit unfortunate.
When you're
that
on it
wasn't
at
there.
the bend, there's nothing like it because you just get in the zone.
Just
You're like
hustling.
triple ride, and you're just
Yeah.
like on the chip the whole time.
Understeer.
Yeah, understeer.
Understood.
Nah, I think
that's a good change, I think, and also being one of my home tracks, I think.
Yeah,
it's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
And-
well, I mean, Kai, like we're just going to touch on you for a second here.
Yep.
You know, like it says here, about your family story, and
Yep.
you know, it looks like you're racing 48 weeks of the year
with the old man and
with,
like
with the
Yeah,
old
couple-
man,
couple
which,
years in a row,
which
yeah.
is huge.
Yeah, I think
Like,
that's where we go back to the sacrifice that all of us have done, but that's
Yeah.
something where my two sisters played netball.
yeah, because you're from whereabouts
Mount
as well.
Gambier.
Is
So
that quite small or?
yeah, it's about 30,000 people.
Yeah, okay, so-
but
Right.
it's right down south.
about the
not far
population of
from-
New Zealand
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
compared to Australia.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it was cool. Growing up, 8 years old, started karting, and then it sort of fast tracked pretty quickly. Started racing my second year. Started racing Australian Championships, state titles, all that stuff, and then my two sisters moved away when they were 14 and 17 to Adelaide. So it's about
Wow.
4 hours from.
You guys
from
both
home.
have really high achieving
Yeah.
families because
Yeah, we
Matt's-
don't really hear much from.
Yeah,
from
my
your
sister's
Yeah.
she's a triathlete, so
didn't
very
she
cool.
win the
She's-
worlds or?
yeah, she won the worlds
crazy.
last 2 years ago, and then she does Ironmans now, so half
And
Ironmans.
your two sisters are professional.
Yeah,
netballers.
so yeah, my I'm the youngest, obviously, but so Sienna, she used to play. She doesn't anymore, but she played for Sunshine Coast Lightning and then for Collingwood.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
Naya played for Collingwood. She's been Thunderbirds, who won the premiership last year, and then now she's at Melbourne Mavericks, which is the Melbourne-based team. So it's pretty cool, but the journey to get there, obviously a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah.
Dad and I are always in the eastern states.
Did
New
your
South
parents
Wales,
were
Victoria.
into sport or motorsport?
Yeah, they were
or-
always into it. They never raced. Dad played footy,
Yeah.
like not AFL, but played sort of the junior ranks there for a bit. Was
And your
quite
mum?
good. And then mum did play netball, and she
Yeah.
played states. It was pretty cool. She's on the same on the SA state thing, basically plaque as my sisters because she
Oh,
won
Yeah.
nice.
one in 19. I can't remember what it is. Yeah,
Oh, you should know that.
Should know that. And then the other girls ended up winning in the same year, so they're all in the same thing, which is pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's
so,
cool.
so a bit of history with mum there, but dad not really. So I sort of
Yeah.
led the path of motorsport, and that's the thing with dad. All these other kids had their dads that had raced, so they knew. Where dad and I were all self-taught. We had no team. We were in the back of a van, basically going racing. And dad, he had his own business to run. Mum, obviously worked for him. And then at one point, mum was working 2 to 3 jobs, and dad was running his business and helping mum with her stuff. So a massive commitment for our family, but it was pretty cool to now see it paying off. Like I
Wow.
mentioned there, dad and I spent 48 weekends.
That's great to share.
He was
2
always
years in a
the guy that
Yeah,
was
I
touted to
remember.
be the. I
Yeah.
remember even when I did Cadet 12, it was like Kai Allen.
He's gonna
was-
be it.
Yeah, and he had the GoPro helmet, and I was like,
Yeah.
wow, like he's
He's
factory
actually sponsored
GoPro,
by
yeah.
GoPro.
Was I? I don't know what it
Yeah,
was.
yeah. Did
There was
you not
like the
remember?
blue
you had
and
that
the
blue
blue
and
and
black.
black.
Nah, it was
GoPro.
like lifestyle one. That's what dad's. It looked
Oh.
like the GoPro one. That's I copied.
Are you sure?
No
it
way.
wasn't?
I thought it was
GoPro.
GoPro.
Nah, I didn't have GoPro. No,
Oh.
I had no sponsors.
Was
Now
it
it's-
Aloha on the side?
Nah, it was dad's magazine business.
What's that
It looked-
called?
Lifestyle one. It's he sold it
Oh
now. so.
yeah.
But yeah, so then that's basically working my way through that. So yeah, it was pretty big
I always
sacrifice.
thought it
and-
was GoPro, man.
and the
Same.
GoPro- the
It looked
GoPro,
exactly
yeah.
We'll
like
just
that.
Yeah.
yeah, we'll wrap it up. Obviously, rookie year.
Yep.
How do you think you're going?
Yeah, I think it's good. There's been glimpses of some speed. I think it was good in quali at AGP. Got 7th. Was right with Maddie. So I think that there's been promising signs. Probably racing been a bit
It's
iffy.
hard.
There's been a
Just
couple
get
things there
aggressive.
where that's where I think
It's hard because you don't
Yeah.
you don't know if you need to be super aggressive
Or
or
not.
Yeah,
be
it's hard-
patient.
Hard to
or-
know where the line
Which that's where I'm
is.
starting to understand. I think I was being not aggressive enough at AGP in that race one. That's where I got
Yeah.
turned and caught on fire. But then,
But you feel
towards the
like
end-
you're
I'm on
being the most
fire.
aggressive you've ever been.
Yeah. Because Super 2, like I said, Super 2 is so different. You're only racing a couple guys.
Yeah.
First couple
You
of
know.
corners are like, oh, and then you're like,
And you're like,
oh,
oh yeah, sweet. Yeah, where this is just the whole
flat
time,
out
it's
the
flat
whole
out. So
first
I
5
think
laps.
in that last race before, obviously the last one got cancelled, but the second last race I started to really understand how I needed to race. The guys I'm racing against, the aggression that each person has, and then so I think obviously the results haven't been ideal, but I think I'm really taking a step forward every round. So I'm happy
Awesome.
with the progress. Got a good team
great.
around me, good teammates. So we'll be right. We'll keep
we'll be
chipping away.
right.
Wicked, boys. Well,
I'm looking forward to the next one.
yeah. Well, thanks for joining us on today's podcast. Obviously, awesome for us to be here.
Yep.
New Zealand's up next, and look forward to seeing you boys there. And make sure everyone that's listening tunes into the next episode.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.